Hi, this is Lynn McCool. Today I'm going to talk to you about activity reports and their use in creating technical documents and working on projects and teams. Here are some of the basic features of an activity report. You can see that, as with many types of documents, you begin with an introduction, and your introduction should clearly state the report's purpose and the main point of the report. Next, you would move into a summary of activities that occurred within that reporting period. Next would be the results of those activities or research within the time frame that this particular report covers. And then finally, you would want to think about some future activities that might be recommended for the company to take, or for even the team, that the team might take in completing the rest of the project if the project did not conclude with this particular report. You would also want to talk about any kinds of graphs or charts and include those in, so you can have supporting graphics and illustrations. Those obviously can be used throughout the entire body of the activity report and are not limited to just one section. Finally, you would want to, right before the conclusion, detail any kind of expenses that might have occurred during the reporting period. And then finally, in the conclusion, you're going to restate that main point and look toward the future, whether that would be to continue on with this particular project if you weren't finished, or if you were finished, possibly, to look to the future for the opportunity to do more work for that particular company. As you probably know from your reading, there are a few different types of activity reports. So for example, we can have incident reports or lab reports, briefings and white papers, and also progress reports. Thinking about those basic features again one more time, I showed you the graphic at the beginning of this particular screencast, but just in summary, let's go over those basic features that all types of reports would have. So it would have an introduction that clearly states the report's purpose and main point, a summary of the activities that occur within the reporting period, the results of those activities or research that occurred during that reporting period, graphics or charts that illustrate the different activities or present data, and those can be sprinkled throughout the entire report, a description of future activities or research, a record of expenses incurred, and then a conclusion that restates the main point and looks to the future. As you're planning your activity report for Scott Stevens and in the technical description assignment, what you want to think about in the planning and researching phase is you want to think about analyzing the rhetorical situation, so answering those 5W and how questions. You want to identify the subject, the purpose, the intended readers, as well as any other imagined readers it might be for that particular document, and its context of use. So you want to analyze each one of these items for the technical description assignment and apply that analysis both to your research as well as to the construction of the document. Next, you want to move to the organizing and drafting phase. Here you would write your introduction, and in the introduction you want to define your subject, state the purpose, and state the main point. As you move into the body, you want a summary of your activities, results of activities or research, any future activities or research that you might recommend, as well as the expenses that were incurred during the project cycle. Finally, you would move to the conclusion, and here you would restate the main point, restate the purpose, and make any recommendations if appropriate, and look to the future. As far as style and design are concerned, typically activity reports use a plain style. So in your sentences, you want to think about using active voice, eliminate any long prepositional chains, and just basically be very concise in your wording and in your syntax. For paragraphs, you want to begin with a strong topic sentence, and then all the supporting sentences should relate back to the topic, and your tone should project a professional air or professional tone about it. In addition, you should use design that is standard format, so standard formatting of grammar, punctuation, and layout of the document. You can center graphics in your text, and you can also label them. Finally, as you're thinking about the memo that you're creating for Scott, you'll want to review over the assignment description very carefully, making sure that you are taking into account all of the context, the situation, the background, and the things that are being asked of you. Use the memo genre then to create this activity report for Scott. As you get together as a team, either virtually or face-to-face, you want to discuss which elements should be included into this report. One thing that you do want to consider is that you want to consider how to construct your rationale for your camera purchase, and you want to include that rationale in your report, because your report really is the place where you get to defend your choice, if I can use that word, defend your choice of camera that you're recommending to Scott Stevens. Okay, that's it for now. If you have questions, please contact me, and I look forward to reading your technical descriptions.